Ignite. Welcome to the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 3, Episode 69. It's every 15-year-old's favorite number, and mine as well. Today, we are talking Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. My name is Michael Marcanio, by the way. I'm the host with the most. I'm here with your boy T, also known as Tyler Revelis. Good stuff.
That is me.
Yep, that's you.
I am your boy T.
It's Season 3, Episode 69. We're going into Week 10 Waiver Wire. We got some good information for everyone listening. Check the description for the table of contents for easy podcast navigation. Very helpful, useful tool. If you subscribed and you were like, oh, I thought these guys did live streams for the Thursday night games and things like that. We got a copyright check, so we can't do live streams.
No.
We got in a little bit of trouble. Okay, let's just say that. Got a little bit of trouble. All right. So we can't live stream for a while, just to let you know. But we'll be back with it soon. I think we're gonna try and do like Twitch and Periscope, like using Restream, a couple different options. But for now, we won't be able to on this YouTube channel. So that's what happened with that, if you're wondering. But yeah, so today we're talking Waiver Wire, who to pick up, who to add, who you can pick up for a sweet little stream this week, or maybe just for the rest of the season. You never know. But yeah, like I said, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Go check out, subscribe to us on the Apple Podcast app. Go ahead and leave us a rating and review if you haven't already. That helps us out big time. And if you're already subscribed on the Apple Podcast app, go ahead and unsubscribe and resubscribe. That actually helps us out with the algorithm and all that. Also subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. Yeah, but let's get into it. This week 9 is pretty good. Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-0. Makes me wet. There's nothing better than 8-0, dude.
Is it funny that I got the Dolphin jersey behind me? You got the Steelers
oh yeah, I got the
flag behind you.
Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect. But yeah, so let's just get into it. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, different people. I know if you're a Christian McCaffrey owner, it's a sad day.
It's a sad day.
But let's get into it right now.
Right now, time to
Pad the wire!
Time to pad the wire.
Pad the wire, fool. Pad the wire.
Week 10, pad the wire. It's week 10 already. Can you believe it?
That's wild. That always happens. I feel like every fantasy season, it feels like it goes by so freaking quick.
We're getting to the nitty gritty.
In the nitty gritty.
We're entering I guess you could say, the fourth quarter technically, kind of the fantasy football season here. So time to make some playoff runs. And if you're on the cusp of, making the playoffs, it's time to, make some trades. Some of these waiver wire guys could be the difference between, winning and getting in the playoffs and not being in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
that's what we're here for. We're here to help you out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Pay attention. Focus. Concentration. Focus. Concentration. Put them together. What does that spell?
Concentration. I like it.
I like it also. Trying to find a piece. Okay. Let's go on to.
So we'll go over the quarterbacks to start out. We always do kind of like, for the quarterbacks, obviously, majority of the time you'll have a good quarterback, like I say every week. So we're kind of just going over some quarterbacks that could be potential streaming options for you this week if you have some players on bye, or maybe the matchup for your quarterback just isn't the best, and you're kind of like, hey, is there a quarterback on the waiver wire that I could potentially find that has an easier matchup? So that's how this works right here. So we'll go over the first one right here. It'll be my guy,
Tua Taglaviola.
It's Tua time, baby. I'm pretty hyped because me and my brother, we actually went to this game in Arizona, so we got to watch it firsthand. But yeah, it's pretty hyped. Miami came out with the dub, so pretty hyped for that. But I mean, Tua looked pretty good. 20 for 28. He had over 70% completion percentage, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns. And one thing you like to see is he was utilizing his legs, 35 rushing yards. We didn't see that his first game against the Rams. They were kind of just babying him. But it was nice to just see him utilize his legs. If you watch some of the highlights, he had it was a 3rd and 4, and he was scrambling out of the pocket, and it looked like Budda Baker was just gonna destroy him. And he hit him with this nasty little cutback, and Budda Baker just whiffed and hit nothing but turf. and Tua picked up the first down for us. But
Yeah. They that was a pretty crazy play. I do remember that.
yeah,
I've
so
never seen that.
they're going to be at home this week playing against the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, Tua is available in over 70% of leagues, and the Chargers have been pretty not good, I guess you could say. Pretty not good.
Yeah, I mean their defense is supposed to be pretty good, but
Yeah,
I don't know. They've been giving up a decent amount of points like week in and week out.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they've given up 19 or more points to the quarterback position in 5 of the 8 games this season. So, like I said, Tua, he looked pretty good. He's highly efficient with the football. That's kind of one of the traits that he had coming out of Alabama was that he was highly efficient, highly accurate with the football. So, yeah, I think if you need a streaming option, it is a little bit of home pick. But, I think Tua
Yeah, but
Tua
he's
Taglaviola.
going to be available in most.
is not a
every
bad
league.
little option to pick up. I said it before. I feel like if Ryan Fitzmagic could come out and be a serviceable quarterback in this option, I would assume that Tua could do just as good, if not better, going forward. And the schedule's pretty nice going forward, so maybe pick him up, stash him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, not mad at some Tua
Yeah,
Taglaviola.
put him on your team. We can move on to the next one here. We got Drew Lock. I think this was, we told you guys you could stream him last week. He did pretty good. I think he got 300 yards and 2 touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. 29 points. So, I mean, if you listen
he
to
did
us
well.
and you throw him into your lineup, you were rewarded with 29 big points right there, big boy.
29 big points.
But, yeah, another good matchup right here. He's playing against the Raiders here in Vegas. The Raiders' defense, they've been struggling, too. Since week 4, they've allowed 23 or more points to the quarterback position in 4 of their last 5 games. So, if you had Drew Lock, you picked him up, you streamed him this week. Another good matchup
keep him
potentially
in,
for
yeah.
you this week.
I like it. Especially if you have Big Ben.
Yeah.
He's got COVID.
Big Ben doesn't have COVID. He's on the COVID list, though.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so he's kind of how Matt Stafford was. He was considered a high-risk, close contact, kind of like how I am right now.
Okay.
Like, if I was in the NFL, they would put me on the COVID high-risk
Okay,
list.
stop.
because, yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Anyways, but yeah, so Big Ben's doesn't have COVID. He's just
Okay,
a
yeah,
high-risk,
he is
close
a-
contact.
he's
So
a
he could
contact.
potentially still play this week. But, yeah, just something to monitor.
Sure. I like this one, though. I actually like this one this week. Jared Goff.
Yeah, I think this would be my number one option for streaming quarterbacks and probably even like a top 10, maybe top 8 potential play overall this week. I mean, Jared Goff, he's available in it's kind of a wide range of for the leagues, ESPN, Yahoo, and NFL, but he's out there in some leagues. And my notes here say see Seattle Seahawks defense. And that's pretty much all you need to see.
Yeah. That's pretty. Yeah, they're just giving up so much air yards to teams. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what Josh Allen just did to them. I mean, it's crazy. The Seahawks have allowed the most passing yards out of anyone in the NFL, and they've allowed the most completions out of any team in the NFL, and they've only played 8 games. So they've played one less game than a lot of other teams, but they're still giving up the most completions and the most passing yards,
Yeah.
and it's not even close.
Yeah, it's by a lot.
So now you get Sean McVay coming off a bye. I'll trust him and his offensive mind. You got Goff. They're going to be at home. It is a division game, but like I said, the Seahawks are bad. I'm expecting a big game from Cooper Kupp. I'm expecting a big game from Robert Woods, which is a facto big game from Jared Goff. So yeah, I do love Jared Goff this week.
Do you think Seattle wins this game though?
I'm actually going to go with the Rams. You just get, like I
Really?
said, division game. They're coming off a bye. The line is 1.5.
I might take the Seahawks in this one.
Yeah, it's a little tricky, but I'll take it just in the fact that they have had extra time to prepare. And I was listening to something the other day. They're just saying like, yeah, Russ is like he's cooking. He's MVP candidate, and the Seahawks are Super Bowl contender for sure. But if Russ is going to have to go out there and score 40-plus points every single week, that's not good because their defense is just giving up like 40-plus a week.
Yeah.
So maybe bet the over in this game. It's 55. I did like the over last week when it was the Bills and the Seahawks, and the Bills almost got it themselves.
Right.
So another matchup where you could potentially see another over. It's 55 again
Yeah.
for this week. But, yeah, Jared Goff, love him this week.
Sweet. Put them in. All right, let's go on to running backs. Mike Davis is back again because, like I said earlier in the podcast, Christian McCaffrey is hurt. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully you didn't drop Mike Davis when CMC came back. And a lot of people did. So if you double check your league, he's a very high chance he's available.
Yeah, I mean, these first couple guys we're going to be talking about are more like handcuff guys. But, yeah, like Mike said, CMC, he comes back. He lights it up. You know, he gives you a classic CMC game, like 10 catches, 100 yards or something, and a touchdown. Then, the rushing yards, too. But he got banged up. I think it's a shoulder injury. They're not really sure what it is yet. I think he's like day-to-day, or we haven't heard too many reports of what it is. But like Mike said, a lot of people have been dropping Mike Davis, and I don't know why. He's one of the most valuable handcuffs in the game. We've seen when McCaffrey's been out and how valuable Davis is. He's pretty much a low-end RB1 or the solid RB1. So, yeah, he dropped in one of my leagues. I don't know if I'm going to get him, but I'm definitely putting a waiver claim in him. And if you have Mike Davis, just hold on to him. Just hold on to him. But if he's out there, for sure, I would go get Mike Davis.
Yeah, he's my number one. Like, I burn waiver wire. I'd put money on him for sure.
Yeah.
Next one here, we got Tony Pollard. It was a little confusing because we actually said to not play Zeke last week before they announced he wasn't going to play, and then it was a game time decision. All of a sudden, he was put in. But I think that, like we've said before, it seems like Zeke is just not – I don't know if it's not dialed in or what it is exactly, but I think Tony Pollard is like becoming more and more efficient, even with Zeke in. When you're in a spot, you got people on bye. I think you can put Tony Pollard in on a week-to-week basis. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, Zeke, like I said, he was one of our sits, and I know it's hard because you're talking about sitting a guy who was a top 5 overall pick. Yeah. You're thinking of Zeke, he's a RB1, he's a guy who gets you 100 yards almost every single game. But 3 straight weeks under 10 PPR fantasy points. And, obviously with no Dak, they got the third, fourth string quarterback in. That doesn't look good. But
Garrett Gilbert actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't good, but it was not that bad.
Yeah, you watched the game because you're a Steelers fan. But yeah, Tony Pollard, I mean, he's getting more incorporated. He got 10 touches, 9 for 57. So, like I said, he just looks like he's got more spring in the step. He looks a little bit better than Zeke. Obviously, Zeke wasn't 100% here, but just another guy where he's a high-value handcuff. If anything was to happen to Zeke, you would see Tony Pollard see 20-plus touches.
Yeah,
he's a guy who gets utilized on the ground and in the passing game. So it gets to a point where do you want this fifth-string receiver that you're never going to play? Like, why are you holding on to Hunter Renfrow? Why are you holding on to, I don't know, just some of these lower-tier guys, MVS.
Cam Akers.
Yeah, like, why are you holding on to those guys? Let me hold on to a guy where if something happens to Zeke, if he misses, Tony Pollard turns into a locked and loaded. Yeah. He's like a top 5 option. He's going to get you 20-plus touches, how Mike Davis was doing when CMC was out. Yeah. So just a guy that I would go out and I would just stash, and I'd rather have him on my bench. Does it hit? Does he end up taking over if Zeke gets hurt? That's the unknown. But I'll just I want him on my bench is what I'm saying.
Yeah. We'll go to Duke Johnson. David Johnson got hurt this past week, so it's not the sexiest play just because the Texans are the game script. I feel like for the Texans isn't really ever in a spot where you're going to be running the ball like crazy. But with David Johnson down, I think Duke Johnson gets a bump up in fantasy value.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, DJ, David Johnson, I guess they're both DJ. But, you had David Johnson. He left the game with what they're calling a concussion. So he's got to pass the concussion protocol to be able to play this week. I feel like most of the times when you're dealing with concussions, majority of the time, the player will be okay to come back the following week. But there are some cases where that player has to miss due to they just didn't clear the concussion protocol. But, when David Johnson went out, Duke Johnson stepped in. He played 81% of the snaps. He had 20 total touches. Puts up a solid game for you in fantasy terms. So, I'll go out and grab him, especially if you have David Johnson. You want to handcuff him right there. And then, like I said, you just don't know if David Johnson is coming back or not. He'd be one of the main priority guys I'd be trying to get just because if David Johnson does miss, Duke Johnson's going to be the main feature back there for the Texans.
And his name's Duke.
Duke.
I feel like that's a cool name. I don't know. All right, let's go on to the next running back here. We got Matt Breida. Sell me on this one because I'm not too sold on it.
2 words. Jordan Howard.
Yeah.
Wait, 4 words. Wait, 5 words. Jordan Howard is not good. That was like 2 or 4. Anyways.
It really isn't, though.
Yeah, so Matt Breida, I feel like he was the guy that you were going to get once you heard that Myles Gaskin was going down on IR with the MCL injury. He misses this week's game as well due to a hamstring injury. So it was Jordan Howard, it was Patrick Lard, it was I'm gonna mispronounce his name, but Savon Ahmed, I think is his name. I think he's a rookie out of Washington. I could be wrong on that one. But yeah, Matt Breida, he's available in like 70+% of leagues. I just think that, the Ahmed guy looked okay here and there. Patrick Lard, however you pronounce it, he was just non-existent. I think he had like one catch, and that was it. I don't think he had a carry. And then Jordan Howard is just the goal line back. Like, he's just not good.
He just
I don't
falls
know
in
what
the
it
end
is.
zone, like you said last week when we did our start sits. You defended him and saying like he just gets the goal line carry, so he could fall in the end zone very easily.
Yeah, and I still think that's a similar situation where even if Matt Breida comes back this week, you're going to see them get in and close, and it's probably going to be Jordan Howard who comes in and he'll probably finish with 5 carries for 5 yards and 1 touchdown. But I think if Matt Breida comes back, he's going to be the main guy who sees 15+ touches. He's a little bit more electric. He's got that speed, that burner where he can break off a big play, and he can be utilized in the passing game as well. Even with Myles Gaskin getting 60-70% of the snaps, it was Matt Breida who was the guy who was coming in as like the backup running back to kind of spell Gaskin. So if Breida's out there, I would go get him. It's a good matchup this week against the Chargers.
The Chargers. All right, let's go on to the next running back here. We got J.D. McKissick. It's this Washington running game. It's like both these guys are getting run though. It has become pretty split.
Yeah, definitely a running back by committee. McKissick's available in 50+% of leagues, and he's had 6 or more. He's more of like a PPR guy, I feel like, because he's involved in the passing game a lot. But 6 or more receptions in 4 of his last 5 games, so you like seeing that, kind of a safe floor if you're in a PPR league. And he's actually outsnapped Antonio Gibson in 6 of the 8 games so far this season. Like I said, he's more of like the PPR guy. He actually has 21 more targets than Antonio Gibson does this season. So if you're in a pinch and you're in a PPR league, I'm not mad at getting J.D. McKissick. You're probably going to have Alex Smith as the quarterback now. Kyle Allen, I think he kind of had a similar injury to what Alex Smith had. I think he broke his ankle. Dwayne Haskins is just I don't know, who knows if he'll be in Washington after this year. So it's the Alex Smith show now for the Washington football team.
If you look at the stats when Alex Smith went in, he hyper targeted J.D. McKissick. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. But yeah, pretty much, yeah. So yeah, McKissick.
Pick him up, put him in, baby. All right, let's move on to the next one here. We got Rex Burkhead. But we were watching this game and you were like, I get so frustrated when they play Rex Burkhead so much. They give him so much run.
Yeah, but he's like I said, Damian Harris is like the runner. Damian Harris is a capable pass catcher too, and then you got James White who's more of the receiving back, and then I feel like you have like Rex Burkhead is like. He's like the hybrid of the two.
He's like the Taysom Hill of running backs.
Yes, he feel like they like Super Saiyan fused. That's what you would get as Rex Burkhead. And for whatever it is, Belichick loves him some Rex Burkhead. I throw him in here because he's available in 70+% of leagues. You got Sony Michel. He's still on IR. I think he was practicing a little bit this last week, so he might come back this next game, which would make things even more murkier. But you had Damian Harris. He got banged up, took a hard hit from one of the Jets safeties, and he fell. Like a sack of potatoes. Is that how they say it? He felt like a sack of potatoes. I don't know. Anyways, I just made that up, I guess.
Yeah. I don't
Anyways, Damian Harris got lit up. He left the game. They're calling it a chest injury. I'm thinking it's like a shoulder injury, so you're not sure if he's gonna play. So Burkhead would be based on the fact if Damian Harris is out due to the injury that he suffered after getting lit up, and then if Michelle remains on IR, the only running backs there would be Rex Burkhead and James White. And for whatever reason, James White has just been non-existent. He's kind of fallen off the edge of a cliff. I don't know why, but
it's just as of late, it's weird because it seems like if you look at it last year or years prior, it seems like Bill Belichick loves James White. Yeah. But this year, it's not the case. It's starting to get away from him.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, if Damian Harris is out, Sony Michel's out, and it's just Burkhead and it's just James White, I would be confident starting Rex Burkhead this week.
I'm confident. All right, let's do Cordarelle Patterson. Sorry. I thought it was Cordarelle Patterson.
I think it's Cordarelle.
Is it? Oh, okay. All right. Sell me, baby. Tell me why.
This is another.
Tell me why. Oh, by the way, with Rex Burkhead, really quick, I would say don't like burn a waiver on it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe put like
Just
$1
wait.
for Fab.
Yeah. He'll probably sneak through on the waivers.
Yeah. Anyways, Cordarelle.
But yeah, this like I said, it's another concussion situation here for the Chicago Bears. You had David Montgomery. He left with they're calling it a head injury, but I mean it's a concussion. So you just got to monitor that. If Montgomery is in, obviously Cordarelle Patterson's value is nothing. But if David Montgomery was to miss at all, you're probably going to see a split between Cordarelle Patterson and then another running back, Ryan Nall, who got utilized. I think he actually got the goal line touchdown, Ryan Nall did. But Cordarelle Patterson, who was a former first-round wide receiver, is a guy that they can kind of use in that Tariq Cohen role if they wanted to. He could be a running back, but then he can also catch out of the backfield. I'm not sure if Ryan Nall is going to be some of the targeting out of the backfield. And we've seen David Montgomery's receptions and his target usage just skyrocket since Tariq Cohen's been out. So if Montgomery's out, I think Cordarelle Patterson could be a sneaky play. Like another guy where like you're not spending a waiver claim or maybe throw like $1 fab on him because his value is dictated on whether Dave Montgomery misses or not. So just another guy to keep an eye on. Once the waivers go through, he'll probably still be there. Maybe just go get him for free. But then, like I said, you got to monitor Montgomery and see what's up with him in the concussion.
Concussion protocol. We got Gus Edwards. He did pretty good. He had a pretty big breakaway run for a touchdown that looked pretty sweet. It's funny because it's like at the beginning of the year you think, okay, well they got J.K. Dobbins. And then they got, obviously, Mark Ingram got injured. But I didn't expect to be talking about Gus Edwards going into Week 10.
And that is,
what I mean?
Fantasy football in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's like you're expecting,
it's
like Gaskin. You're thinking, Jordan Howard, you're thinking Matt Breida. And it's, here's Gaskin, who's a top 20 running back who nobody, even me as a Dolphins fan, was not paying attention to Gaskin. But yeah, that's just fantasy football. Things change week to week. I mean, you see things, the only people that know what's going on are the coaches, and everyone else, us. You got these guys from ESPN, Yahoo, whatever. Like at the end of the day, everyone's just making their best educated guess of what they think the team is going to do. Some are better than others. Some aren't very good. But
here's the thing: is if we were able to predict exactly how many carries someone's going to get, or exactly how they're going to run the offense, then that means that the opposing defense would also,
for sure.
And the whole point of a coach, like they want to keep it secret. So it's like we're not going to know everything. Yeah. If they say they do, they're lying.
Yeah, but whatever it is, Gus Edwards, I think he just fits this offense and this system. Harbaugh likes him. It's a guy where he doesn't fool around. He's not a guy who's trying to, jump cut and do all these things. He's just a north and south runner. Like he takes the ball, I guess a Frank Gore you can call him. The guy who just hits the hole hard and he tries to get any kind of yardage he can. But he's the goal line back here out of the three. I think his value is, again, based on whether Mark Ingram misses. He's dealing with, I think they're calling it a mid to high ankle sprain, so if he misses another game, we'll see. But, yeah, Gus busts a touchdown in 3 straight games, and in the 2 games without Mark Ingram in the lineup, you've had Dobbins get 30 touches, and you've had Gus Edwards get 29 touches. So, I mean, you're in a full running back by committee here between those 2 running backs. But now on the flip side, like I said, Gus Edwards is getting the goal line carries. Gus Edwards has 2 touchdowns in those 2 games. Dobbins has 0 touchdowns in those 2 games. So, like another thing, like I said, it's Ingram. If Ingram's out, then Gus Edwards has some value here going forward still.
Let's keep going on these running backs. All right, Wayne Gallman, New York Giants running back. He put up some numbers against Washington, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's 13 or more PPR points in 3 straight weeks, and he's had a touchdown in 3 straight games.
I mean, Washington's defense is actually pretty good, so
yeah.
That dude, what's his name, Chase Young that they got?
Yeah, he's good. I'm not sure if I'm sold on Gallman. I think we might have missed his little window for opportunity. Does he take the job and run away with it? I don't think he's done anything to like wow the Giants and be like, oh, okay, like this is the guy now. Like,
I mean,
forget about Devontae Freeman, because Devontae Freeman was getting, prior to his ankle injury, Devontae Freeman was getting, I want to say it was 15 to 18 touches a game. So he was the guy, and obviously they went on, they went and got Devontae Freeman off the street when they already had Gallman. So I don't see a scenario where now Gallman is putting up points that are just like, okay, Devontae Freeman, forget about you. We're paying you this money. We went to go get you. Gallman, you're the guy. So this is more murkier for me, in my opinion. I don't know if I'd be going to get Gallman. I mean, you had Devontae Freeman. He missed again a second straight week with the ankle injury, but he was a limited participant in practice last week. I'm expecting him to practice again this week and then him to be back in the lineup, which would just make this more of like a running back by committee scenario with Gallman and Devontae Freeman. But then you throw on top of it that this is just not a very good offense, and this is just not a good team.
I mean, that's the hardest part is like this. We always talk about this O-line is not very good. Is what games are the Giants going to be in a script where you're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, they're going to be up and just running the ball. I know that's not where all fantasy points come from, but you do get a boost from game scripts like that. But yeah, he has been putting up points. I think you're right, though. We might have missed his window, like you're saying. Zack Moss.
It's just a guy. He's more owned than not, but I did notice that he was out there in about a third of leagues. So I would go out and get him, and he'd probably be one of the main, top couple guys I'd be trying to get over some of these other guys that we've gone over. I mean, 10 or more PPR points in 3 straight weeks, and he's had 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games. He's the goal line back. It's not Devin Singletary. Josh Allen, he'll run some in too as well. But I think they're kind of leaning more on Zack Moss. And this is a good offense. I mean, the Bills have definitely one of the better offenses in the NFL. They're always going to be like in the red zone in games, getting in close. So yeah, if Zack Moss is out there, I definitely want him on my team.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah, if he's available, I'm picking him up for sure.
Yeah.
We got Joshua Kelley. What do you say with this whole thing? Because I feel like Josh Kelley was doing so well in the beginning of the year. Before, like, he was almost taking touches from Eckler, which was like scaring me as an Eckler owner in the beginning of the year. But now Justin Jackson goes down. Do you think it's just automatically we're going to see so much of Josh Kelley? Because I feel like there's 2 other guys behind that got some run, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of Kalen Ballage.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But yeah, like I said, that was kind of one where we said Justin Jackson. Justin Jackson was one of my starts for this week. If he played, he didn't play because he got 0, but he got hurt on the first drive. But you got guys like Joshua Kelley and Kalen Ballage came in and stepped in. I think Kalen Ballage had a decent game. Ends up finding the end zone. Kalen Ballage does. But yeah, so if Justin Jackson is to miss another game, because we don't know, it's a knee injury. He was able to return, I think they said, but I think they were just like, okay, like you already banged up. There's no reason to throw you out there. We'll just throw Kelley and Ballage out there just to kind of maintain the game. Are you interested in picking up a Kalen Ballage? Are you interested in picking up a Joshua Kelley?
Here's the thing with Kalen Ballage.
I've seen Justin Jackson being dropped in one league. Are you
I'll
interested
Justin Jackson
in trying to go get him, or are you just like, I just don't want anything to do with it right now? It's just it's the Herbert show over there. It's like he's gunslinging.
I think of this like this. This far into the season, I don't know if I'm going to be able to mentally pick up Kalen Ballage and be like, yep, this is my running back for this week. I would almost rather like not pick him up and be wrong on that than put him in my lineup and be wrong that way.
Yeah, no.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
no, I agree.
Even the matchup's good. It's like I do not want to play Kalen Ballage. I've watched that guy play way too much. He fell into the end zone, but he's not this running back that just hasn't had a chance. To me, it doesn't seem like that. And I think Coach Lynn is like, he's smart enough. He was a running back. He's smart enough to see that, and I think he'll see that throughout practice. And I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine him giving him a lot of reps. You got to give Josh Kelley the reps. I think that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one of them, like Justin Jackson was dropped in the league, I'll go get him just to see and then monitor the knee injury. If he plays,
because we don't have too much details on what that.
Prior to him getting hurt, he was getting, the lion's share of the carries over Joshua Kelley. Kalen Ballage wasn't even getting any run. I'm not even sure when they got Kalen Ballage, honestly, because he was on the Jets for a while. He's probably unemployed for a couple weeks. But yeah, I just wouldn't feel comfortable, even if any of these guys start. I mean, they're going to be traveling to Miami, and maybe it's a homer pick here, but for this high-powered Cardinals offense, we're all hyped on Chase Edmonds, getting a solid workload, and he did. He had 25 carries. Chase Edmonds had 25 carries. He only got you 70 yards. That's only 2.8 yards per carry against the Miami Dolphins defense. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe Miami just good luck. I don't know what it is, but like I said, I mean, guy got 25 carries and he couldn't break off at least one big run. I was at the game, and he just every run was getting stuff. So the point I'm getting is, I think the Dolphins' run defense is a little bit better than people are giving them credit. Yeah. So I don't know how confident I would feel starting a Joshua Kelley or Kalen Ballage, maybe Justin Jackson, but I don't even know if I'd feel confident starting him because he's banged up, and then he's one of these guys is also going to get some runs. So I think I would just be staying away from this backfield in entirety.
I'd say if anything, I would grab Josh Kelley, but that's just me.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'm with you though on that. We could go into the wide receivers here for the first one. We got Jakobi Myers, the Patriots receiver. How many targets did he get last night? It seemed like everything was going to him.
14.
That's insane.
14.
That is insane. I mean, the only other person who gets targets like that is like Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Nobody gets targets like that. Maybe D-Hop.
Yeah.
Maybe Devontae Adams. I don't know.
Yeah, 14 targets last night on Monday Night Football, and then last week 10 targets. So it's kind of he's turning into Cam Newton's go-to guy. I mean, we've seen N'Keal Harry and Julian Edelman out there at one point. Edelman had that monster game against Seattle, and it was like week 2, maybe week 3. But outside of that, Julian Edelman was like non-existent. I don't know if it was the knee injury that was hampering him while he was being unproductive. He had like a knee surgery, so I think he's on IR or he's out for now. N'Keal Harry's still banged up. But Jakobi Myers would be one of my favorite, if not my top waiver wire guy to go get. You just don't find a guy on the waiver wire who's going to get you 10 and 14 targets on a week-to-week basis. I mean, he's had 10 or more PPR points in 3 straight weeks. He's Cam Newton's go-to guy. When I was watching that game, it's like every time Cam Newton dropped back, it was Jakobi Myers. Cam Newton drops back, Jakobi Myers.
That's what I mean. Is like I was watching, it just felt like everything was going to him.
Yeah. He put up 29 PPR points, Jakobi Myers. So like I said, he would probably be one of my top guys to go out and get. I'm putting a decent amount of fab on him. I'm definitely spending a waiver claim on him. If he's going to be a guy who Cam's, just funneling majority of his targets to, I think he's had a 40+% target share in the last 2 weeks. So he's the go-to guy. Like when Cam Newton drops back, he's like, "Where's Jakobi Myers?" Because I'm throwing him the football.
And that's all you need to tell me, dude. I'm in. Sign me up. Yeah. I'm in. I like it. Wide receiver John Brown. Are people dropping John Brown? Is that what's going on?
I mean, he's more owned than not, but he's available in some leagues, and I don't know. People keep sleeping on John Brown and how good he is. I think he had the first 2 weeks he came out, some solid games. He scored a touchdown in weeks 1 and weeks 2. Then he gets banged up, misses some time. Then he's still kind of battling an injury coming back. But I mean, we saw what John Brown is capable of with Josh Allen in this offense. 8 catches, 99 yards. He had 11 targets on Sunday. I feel like him and Josh Allen have a better connection already than Diggs does. Obviously, Diggs is balling. He's putting up some crazy numbers, but John Brown has been there. He's been in the system. He's already played a full season with Josh Allen, and having Diggs on the opposite side just makes things easier for John Brown. Yeah. So, yeah, if John Brown's available in your league, go get him. He's a solid wide receiver 3 flex guy.
Yeah, definitely. John Brown's good. He's fun to watch, too.
Yeah.
He's a fun guy. Fun guy. Great guy. Best man at my wedding. Let's keep going on, too. We got Curtis Samuel. Was it you that told me he's got more points than DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson the past 3 weeks?
I wouldn't doubt it. He's put up some monster games the last couple weeks. He's available in 70+% of leagues, and he's just put up some crazy numbers. Right here. Yeah, he's got in his last 4 weeks 11, 17, 21, and 27. That's in PPR. So he's got back-to-back 20+ point games in PPR leagues. He's definitely outscoring DJ Moore, who I don't think is. I think he's a good football player. NFL football player. I just don't think he's a very good fantasy football player, DJ Moore. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, Curtis Samuel, he's out there in a ton of leagues, 4 touchdowns in his last 4 weeks. I mean, this guy's just they're utilizing him in the passing game. They're utilizing him in the short screens. He gets handoffs, he'll get carries. It's just, it's not the sexiest name, especially when you're thinking okay, is there 3 Panthers receivers that you can start each and every week? DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Curtis Samuel, or is it? What's your thought on this?
I have DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson in one league. It's like I end up playing them every week, both of them. just because they both have the potential to go off. But as of late, it's like you got to start fading. I'm more inclined to fade DJ Moore. I do think, you got to follow who's getting targets, who's getting the ball. Curtis Samuel's getting the ball. It could be also defenses were scheming for Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore because they started realizing that those two are just getting a lot. And the versatility of Curtis Samuel being able to rush the ball, I think that maybe they're exploiting that because their defenses aren't ready for it. But I still think Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore still have fantasy value. I would say Robbie Anderson more. He's more of like a boom bust, I suppose. But yeah, I still think you can play Curtis Samuel week in and week out, depending on who they're playing. They play the Chiefs and he still put up great numbers. It feels like the Panthers are almost in every game that they play. So the game script is good for that.
Yeah. To me, and I've been saying it for a while, I know Dre and Anthony probably disagree, but Robbie Anderson to me, and I think you might agree as well, he's the number one receiver on this offense.
I would agree. Yeah.
He's got 81 targets. DJ Moore has got 62 targets. So it's like it's not even close.
Like
Robbie Anderson's getting all this. And then for what it's worth, the last 3 games, Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore have been 6 targets 1 week for Samuel, 5 for DJ Moore. Then the next week, 5 for Curtis Samuel, 6 for DJ Moore. So they're like neck and neck. They're both getting the same amount of targets. But last game, 9 targets for Curtis Samuel, only 3 for DJ Moore. DJ Moore back-to-back games where he's only put up 2 catches, under 10 PPR points.
I wonder if it's like a separation issue or what. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either.
You know what I mean?
I'm not a big DJ Moore guy.
I feel
so,
you.
I don't know. For what it's worth, like I say, men lie, women lie. The numbers don't lie. My guy Curtis Samuel's putting up numbers.
And he's 70% available.
Go get him.
Sign up.
Yeah.
Sign me up. We'll go on to Darnell Mooney. This is Dre's favorite guy. He says he's about to ball. Is he getting hyper targeted? Is that what's going on?
He is getting a lot of targets. He's available in 75 plus % of leagues. He's getting targeted a good amount. 5 or more targets in 7 straight games. He actually leads the Bears in targets over the last 3 weeks. So this is one of Dre's dudes right here. A rookie. I can't remember what college he came out of, but a rookie that Dre likes, and he would talk about him. Dre, he does all the dynasty stuff. He's kind of he's watches all the college games and stuff like that. But yeah, Darnell Mooney, he runs a 4.38 40. He's getting 5 or more targets every single game, and he's actually been missed on a couple big plays where Nick Foles has just missed him, and he's been wide open. He's ran some nasty routes against some pretty good corners like Carlton Davis and Jalen Ramsey, where I was watching on Instagram, and he's literally running these routes and he's making these corners turn around, or he'll do a double move and they'll bite, and he's just be wide open for a 40-plus yard, 60, 70-plus yard touchdown, and Nick Foles just cannot get him the ball. So, yeah, just a name to keep an eye on, Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney. Nothing's better than Jerry Jeudy this week doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going long, and then turns it around and catches it.
That's a good one,
Scores a touchdown. We'll go on to Jalen Reagor here, the Philadelphia Eagles rookie wide receiver. What's his percentage available?
Jalen Reagor's in 75% or more available.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah. He's the Eagles' first-round pick. They picked him over a couple other talented receivers. This is a deep draft in terms of receivers. You had Michael Pittman, Justin Jefferson went after him. T. Higgins went after him, just a couple of names off the top of my head. But so the Eagles obviously saw something in Reagor. They were like, hey, we want this guy. He obviously is planned to be schemed into their offense. Scored a touchdown a couple weeks ago. Then they had the bye, so I think people are kind of sleeping on Jalen Reagor. But yeah, go out and get him. Outside of Travis Fulgham, this Eagles passing attack needs weapons, and Rager's a guy who could stretch the field, kind of like that Deshaun Jackson type of role. So yeah, go get Reagor.
Go get him,
Reagor.
Alan Lazard, is he coming back? What's the deal, baby?
Yeah, just another guy, kind of like a speculative ad here, but he's available in over 50% of leagues. We saw MVS come out and have the big game, but I feel like MVS is just so boom or bust. He's all over the place.
I've watched him too many times drop the easiest passes that I can't do it. I just can't. I can't feel confident playing MVS. And Alan Lazard looks good. I mean, it's unfortunate he had the injury because he was really looking good lately. Before that, but yeah, I think it's a good speculative ad. I mean,
yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is
can't
balling.
go wrong.
Aaron Rodgers is balling. He's an
MVP
consideration. Aaron Rodgers is
definitely.
So you're telling me I can get a guy who's I would say that as soon as he comes back, he is now the number 2 passing option behind Devontae Adams. You know, he's better than MVS. He's better than Tanyan. Obviously, the running backs are going to get their catches. But in terms of who's going to be the second receiver that Rodgers is looking for, it's going to be Alan Lazard, in my opinion. So just another guy where you go out and grab him. He's on IR still. We'll see if he comes off IR. But it's going to be a juicy matchup this week. They're playing home against the Jaguars. The Jaguars' pass defense is not good at all. So if he's healthy enough to play, I would feel comfortable throwing Lazard as like a flex option.
Put him in, baby. I like it. We'll go on to the tight ends here. We got Austin Pooper Scooper. I know you like this guy. You're a hater on Harrison Bryant.
Not a hater on Harrison Bryant.
I think you are.
No.
Yeah.
Talented rookie Harrison Bryant right there.
Yeah.
But Hooper, I mean, he got dropped in a bunch of leagues. He's available in over 50% of leagues. Coming back this week. I mean, we've seen Baker. He's leaning on the tight end. I mean, Hooper had 2 touchdowns a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And prior to, did I say Hooper or Bryant? Brian had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you said Hooper,
okay.
but
yeah. But prior to Austin Hooper, getting the emergency appendectomy, he was really starting to turn it on. I think it was like 10 or more PPR points in 3 straight weeks. 5 catches, 3 straight weeks in a row. I would definitely go get him. The schedule going forward is one of the easier schedules for a tight end. So if you're hurting for a tight end, maybe you got Kittle. Some of these tight ends, it's just, I mean, even Mark Andrews has been disappointing. Ertz has been a bum. It's just been all over the place.
Even like Darren Waller's had.
Yeah, I mean, you got Gronk, who had what?
He had one reception
catch, 2 yards
for like 3 yards.
So I mean, you could do worse than getting Austin Hooper. I think. I mean, they went out and they paid this guy some money, so I would definitely go out and get him if he's available.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, yeah, like you said, tight end landscape's hard, so anybody you can grab for sure.
Another thing is maybe like I said, there's no preseason games for him to get acclimated. He's switching teams. He went from a pass happy team to more of a run heavy team, and then there was no rapport. Him and Baker have to learn the chemistry and learn each other's tendencies and stuff like that. I think as the season is progressing, we've really seen that kind of unfold.
Yeah, I'm with you. Dallas Goedert for the Philadelphia Eagles. You mentioned Zach Ertz. Same team.
Yeah. Zach Ertz has not been good, and he's on IR.
Yeah.
So you got Dallas Goedert. He came back. I know if you started him a couple weeks ago, he put up a dud. I think it was like one catch. I think he only had 1 target on the game, but he played 84% of the snaps. That's what you like to see. My guys on the field. They're coming off a bye. He should be that much more healthy. And like I said, Wentz is hurting for weapons. You got Reagor, you got Fulgham, but outside of that, I'm expecting a lot of Dallas Goedert going forward until Ertz comes back. And even when Ertz comes back, like I said, he hasn't been that good.
Yeah, it seems like Dallas Goedert is more of the preferred tight end this year between those two.
Like Dallas Goedert for sure.
Yeah, that's what I said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we can move on to the next one here. We got Jordan Reed.
It just makes me think I started Jordan Reed last week. I was like, oh, man, they have, Kendrick Bourne's out. Like, who's it? Ayuk was out. Debo was out. Kittle was out. And I was like, man, they just need to throw the ball to somebody. And he's basically an oversized wide receiver who plays tight end. Jordan
Who did
Reed
people
was.
thought it was going to be? Trent Taylor?
Yeah. And then he got a dud for you.
And
Jordan Reed. He barely played.
Reese James. What is it? Reese James?
Ricky James.
Ricky James.
Yeah, Ricky James, who they elevated off the practice squad, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was walking around the house all day like, who starts Jordan Reed? Why would I start Jordan Reed?
Why?
But I'm still
you're sitting on the couch right here. You said, Michael, why?
Why would I start Jordan Reed? But I'm still gonna hold on to Jordan Reed, or if he's available, I'm gonna go get him. He didn't play too many snaps. He was just coming off IR with the injury that he suffered. I think it was an ankle injury. I'm expecting him to get more incorporated this week going forward. I mean, it's like, who are you going to throw the ball to? Ross Dwelly or Jordan Reed? Who's a better pass catcher?
Who are you going to call?
I'm still going to bank on Jordan Reed, even him being inconsistent and injury prone, that Jordan Reed is a better pass catcher than Ross Dwelly. So, yeah, I do like Jordan Reed. He's available in a good amount of leagues. If you need a tight end, I would definitely go get him. Maybe you don't have to start him this week and kind of see how things unfold. But, like I said, they're hurting for pass catching options
they're hurting everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, when you walk into the hospital and someone has like a full body cast on. I feel like the 49ers have been in that full body cast this entire season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you on there. I didn't throw him in here, but I think I don't know what the own percentage is, but Eric Ebron's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's definitely more owned. I think he was like 80+%.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
Mike always wants to throw Steeler in somehow if he can.
I'm just saying. I mean, people are sleeping on him, dude.
Yeah, dude.
We'll go on to defenses. We got the Chicago Bears going on this week. What's the percentage on them?
They're all over the place. I think they were 50% in NFL. I think they were only 20% or 70% in ESPN. But I mean, they're going to be at home playing against the Minnesota Vikings, and we know one thing about Kirk Cousins: he does not show up in primetime games. You're getting a team that's been playing in a dome the last season or two. They're going to be playing outside, and it's starting to get cold. They're starting to see the snowfall, so this could be a cold, chilly game. The Bears defense, one of the better defenses in the NFL, and like I said, Kirk Cousins just not very good in primetime. So I definitely like the Bears this week.
Me too. If you can pick them up, pick them up. Pick them up. We got the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. These are all good streams against the Giants. It is a division game, a little scary. It is in New York, but I still think the Giants are good at turning over the ball. At least Daniel Jones is.
Yeah, what was it?
Daniel Jones in 20 games has 43 turnovers.
43 in 20 games.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's insane.
So, yeah. The Eagles, I mean, they're coming off a bye, extra time to prepare. They've already played the Giants once, so they kind of know what to look for. And, like, you get the extra week to prepare. Makes things even that much better. They were a good stream if you started them last time they played against the Giants, like the Eagles.
I like it. And then we got the Green Bay Stacker Packers.
Yeah, the Packers are going to be at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll see if Minshew comes back. If not, it'll be another game for Jake Luton. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But you're getting a team in the Jacksonville Jaguars, who play in a hot, sunny, humid area, who are now going to be traveling to a cold, snowy, frigid area against one of the better teams. I'm expecting the Packers to be up big, which would, in return, give the Packers defensive ends and their rushers to just pin their ears back and really go after the quarterback for the Jaguars. So, yeah, I like the Packers this week.
I like it. Good defensive streams. We don't always get those in there, and, they're important. They can make or break your week. By the way, on our last starts and sits, I know I clipped the video of Antonio Brown, so a lot of people were like, you told me to play Antonio Brown. But in my defense, that entire team did bad. Chris Godwin didn't do good. Rob Gronkowski didn't do well. Mike Evans had like a below average game.
Yeah, like 10 PPR fantasy points. So
maybe,
nothing great.
Yeah.
Not a dud.
Not a dud, but, not great. He still got 3 for 31. I mean, he still looks good. I think I don't know. It looked like Tom Brady bet like $2 million on the Saints last week on Monday. Didn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Like I said, Brady didn't look very good. So nobody did good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't take that game as like, oh, Antonio Brown's not good. I wouldn't feel like I'm losing confidence in what he could be. Maybe someone is panicking. Maybe you go out there and you throw a low ball trade offer in for him.
Yeah,
I would be trying to get Antonio Brown. The playoff schedule for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is one of the better ones in the NFL. So I wouldn't be mad at trying to go out and get AB. The owner might be pretty pissed off. AB might have cost them the game. He might have been like, lost by a couple points. He's thinking like, fuck AB. I lost because he cost me the game. And you might be able to get him for dirt cheap right now. Whereas before, if you were trying to trade for him, I think his value was a little bit higher than what it was.
I'll trade for him for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Evan
hit me up. But all right, let's wrap this baby up. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for listening to the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. This was episode 69, everyone's favorite number. What position was it? Could you be 69? Good defensive tackle or lineman?
Yeah, lineman or defensive tackle.
Yeah. I wish I could be a defensive tackle so I could get that number. And also make professional football money. What am I saying, dude? Anyways, thanks for listening to the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. This is Waiver Wire, who to add, who to pick up. It was a nice and under an hour. That's how I like it, baby.
Subscribe
to us on the Apple Podcast app. Subscribe to us.
Leave us a 5-star review. You won't.
Leave us a 5-star review. And Tyler will... Yeah, that. I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll do that, dude.
Yeah,
if you leave
I'll
us a
do
5-star, leave us a rating and a 5-star review, and I'll do that, dude.
Yeah, he's going to do that.
I'll do it.
Hell yeah. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Ask us any questions you need. Leave them in the comments down below. Yeah. Do that.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Fucking do it.
So that's the end of the episode.
Fucking send it in.
And us big boys are out.